Welcome to another episode of The Wave. We're hitting a second season of our Wave, the wonderful Alberni Valley experience. We took a break for the month of August, and we're catching up now in the beginning of September, and I'm so happy to have as my first guest for this season of The Wave, the wonderful Alberni Valley experience, a very good friend of mine who I'm dying to learn from about her health and fitness regimen. She looks so awesome. So without any other further ado, I would like to introduce my guest for this episode of The Wave, the wonderful Alberni Valley experience of Miss Pat Lasell. Did I say your name right, darling?
You did. Thank you.
Pat Lasell. Okay, darling, let's get started with the first question is, did you move here or were you born here?
I actually originally moved here when I was 5.
Oh, wow.
And,
so you've been here for a long time now.
well, off and on, because I left at 14 and came back at 23. And other than 3 months up north, I've pretty much been here since then.
All right. So what brought you to the wonderful Alberni Valley? That I am curious about.
Well, originally it was my mom.
Okay, of course.
And I came back because it was home. It always felt like home. So it was always where I thought I wanted to be.
Okay.
And so far, so good.
Okay. So was your mom born in Port Alberni or originally from Port Alberni?
I don't believe she was born here, but she was raised here.
Okay. So where did you move from? Coming into Port Alberni.
We moved from Victoria.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're island people, just like everybody else.
Well, no, we're imports because I was actually born in Edmonton.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, came to the island when I was a baby, so.
I see. Yeah, Edmonton. I've interviewed a lot of people who have come from Alberta, Edmonton, or whatever, and they come here and they fall in love with the island because the island has a different vibe in itself. And then they come to Port Alberni and they have a different vibe.
Yeah, well, I think it has to do with the quartz crystal in the mountains, but.
Oh yeah, definitely. So when you moved away, when you said you were 5 and you moved away when you were 14?
Yeah.
Where to?
Regina.
Okay. And then came back when you were 23.
Yes.
Did I follow that right? Okay,
yes.
So what made you come back?
My family had moved back here and I was going through a divorce and I had my son who was not quite 2 years old. So it just seemed like a good idea to move closer to family where I had that support and, yeah.
That's great. Okay. And it's more peaceful here, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
There's no paid parking. there's no traffic. Houses are affordable. House prices are affordable.
Yeah, that's
affordable as well. So is for the most part, you also grew up in Port Alberni. So yeah. Okay. So what was your first thoughts about Port Alberni growing up in Port Alberni? How did you feel and how did you think about Port Alberni at the time?
I loved it as a kid growing up. I was always on my bike, off riding. We lived just off River Road, so I spent a lot of time up around Riverbend Park and in that area, yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. And so how were the other children, your peers, your friends? They were friendly, they were a happy bunch of people?
I think so for the most part. I wasn't really an overly social kid, so
really?
yeah, I did a lot of reading. But I also was,
when we first met, so I moved here like 5 years ago, and if I'm not mistaken, we first met at Charles Landing because you were attending bar.
I was, yeah.
Yeah, so that was the time when we first met. And so now, of course, you're not there anymore. What are you busy with? I'm so curious because I see your Instagram post as Soaring Raven. So I want the inside scoop about Soaring Raven and you look fantastic. My God, like I said, how did you lose that much weight? And you look so so fit, so healthy, beautiful, by the way. Okay, so share with us your health and fitness experience here in.
Well, first off, to be honest, when I first started this journey, since then, I actually haven't lost a whole lot of weight, believe it or
Oh, you
not.
weren't really,
I've reshaped my body more, which I mean really helps with how you feel about yourself and all of that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it came at a point in my life when I needed some change of direction. I had been in the hospitality industry for over 30 years.
Uh-huh.
And it was starting to wear a little thin. So
I can imagine.
yeah, and so I had the opportunity to take some time off. And so I took that time to do a little bit of soul searching. And then this opportunity came along. And so I hopped on, and here I am doing health and fitness. And now I help other women reduce pain and like chronic pain, right?
Uh-huh.
And just have more energy in general. It's amazing, number one, how much energy it takes to deal with chronic pain on a daily basis. And when I first started doing this, I had chronic joint pain. I've had it my entire life. It just kind of got gradually worse. And I was actually, to be honest, I was in my 30s before I realized that wasn't normal.
Mm-hmm.
Up till then, I just thought it was something that everybody went through, right?
Really? But let me back up a little bit. When you say chronic pain, where is the pain exactly? Like all over your muscles or your joints or your bones? Where is that?
Well, for everybody, it's different. And I mean, it always has a different root cause. But for me, it was mostly my joints, my hands, my feet, knees, hips, basically all of them. I had a lot of inflammation. I would get up in the morning and my hands would be very, very stiff and swollen.
Oh, okay.
And so I changed a lot of what I was eating, but also changed a lot of my daily habits. And I've been able to do that with the help of a coach. And that's what kind of enticed me to become a coach and help other people to find that same relief that I found. It's not 100%, but for me, this is the most relief I've ever had. And this is the best I've ever had. I'm in better shape than I was when I was 20. So,
Really?
and I'm almost
You look
50.
better, you look good. And I was really interested and intrigued and like, what is this woman doing that I should be doing, I think, as well. So,
I think you should.
yeah, I know a lot of it has to do with diet. And of course, a lot of it has to do with lifestyle, like the way you do things and your routine, your daily routines and everything. So let's start with diet. Tell us a little bit about the diet involved in this health journey that you're in.
Well, I use the word diet for lack of a better term because it's really not a diet in the traditional sense of, you do this for X amount of days and then you don't.
Yes.
This is a lifestyle.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
when you go to do something like this, it's not about, okay, I'm not going to eat chocolate for 6 days. It's about, I'm going to think a little bit more about the type of chocolate I'm eating, how often I'm eating, and why I'm eating it. And it's not about deprivation. It's about
making the right choices.
Yes, learning to respect your body and what you put in it and how you fuel it, because all of that is connected to how you feel. And surprise, it's also connected to your mental health, right? Like it has a lot to do with, because if you're not feeling well, then it's really hard to be well out, out on the outside. Yeah. And yeah, that's.
Well, you mentioned choices when it comes, and a lot of choices have to do with the food we eat. Like, yes. Some people subscribe to gluten-free food, non-dairy, this and that, and so many other things like avoid MSG. So tell me about your food choices. that are
For
involved in
me,
this health journey thing?
yeah, well, for me, I am gluten-free and dairy-free. I've actually become vegan unintentionally, which sounds really strange when I say it, but it really was an evolution over time. I just slowly, animal products just slowly started tasting different to me.
Hmm.
And I wasn't enjoying it anymore. And I found that I didn't need to have it. So, and well, as far as dairy goes, and the gluten, that it has to do with food sensitivities as well. So
Yes, yes.
when you first change how you eat, you can expect to not feel great for the first few days because your body's kind of in shock.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't take long before you feel really good. And you
Mm-hmm.
realize that how I used to feel just kind of became my new normal,
Oh,
right?
that's so nice to hear. Yeah, you sort of like evolved into
Yeah.
a healthier version of yourself.
Yeah, and it works the other way too. So we slowly get to this place in our lives, and that's what happened to me, where I felt really, really bad all the time, but I wasn't really aware of it because it was a slow evolution over time that created, along with developing food sensitivities and such, all of that kind of compounded gradually over time. And that's when I started feeling, or when I started changing things, that's when I really noticed
Mm-hmm.
how much it had been affecting me before.
Okay, so
So,
my question now is, how did you come to learn about this health thing, this health journey of yours?
well,
Well, of course, it started with your realizing that you're in chronic pain and you made a conscious decision to do something about it. And then, so how did that lead to where you are now?
well, I think part of it was because the closer I got to 40, the more
Don't
you
date
kind of,
yourself, darling. You don't look a
well,
day over 32.
yeah, well, thank you. But reality is you do kind of start reevaluating life and what you're doing and why you're doing it. And things that I never gave any thought to before, I was starting to. Partly because there's more information out now available, but mostly because I was, I have 2 grandchildren now, and
Really?
oh yeah, yeah,
What the heck? You're a grandma.
I
Oh
am,
my
yes.
God. Okay, we're not gonna go there yet because I didn't ask your permission about that. But
That's okay.
but that's amazing. I am talking to a grandma who looks like this. Okay.
Well, right, and that really kind of spurred me forward to start thinking about, you know, I want to feel good and I want to be able to run around with these kids and play with them and not be exhausted when they come over.
Okay,
Right?
just to give a little further context of your being a grandma, how how old are your 2 grandchildren?
My granddaughter will be 7 in 3
Oh my
weeks,
God. Okay.
and my grandson is almost a year old. December, Boxing Day, actually, he'll be a year.
Okay. So we will try to avoid asking your actual age, so that just to give us a little
I don't mind.
context, which adds to the amazement, my amazement, to say the least. So you did mention a while ago that you're involved with a coach. Now, how did you come to learn about this coach, and how did you meet this coach?
She actually sent me a message, which was really cool. I tend to have a strong belief in things happen for a reason, and that there are something else out there kind of guiding us to where we need to be. And I had actually started walking every day because I knew I needed to get physical. And I also knew that it was summertime and it wouldn't last because once it gets cold, I don't like to be cold. So I was just out for a walk one day and I was kind of like looking up at the sky going, okay, now what? What do I do? How do I keep going? And it was less than a week and I had this message in my messenger,
Mm-hmm.
and I was curious. So we chatted and I joined and I haven't looked back. And it's funny because now I will go out walking in the middle of winter time and it doesn't bother me. So
there you go. So
perspective.
how long have you been on this journey now?
Just over 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you in your Instagram, is it the same in your Facebook? You are posted as Soaring Raven.
Yes,
On
I do
Instagram,
have.
right?
Yeah, that's me on Instagram, Soaring Raven Healthy Living.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have a business page on Facebook, but you can also find me as Kat Lasell on Facebook as well.
On Facebook. And then your business page on Facebook is what?
Soaring Raven Healthy Living, yeah.
Soaring Raven Healthy Living. Okay. So tell me a little bit about the story behind Soaring Raven. Like, why Raven? Why not Eagle?
You know, that is a really good question. And it's almost ironic because I remember as a child, I used to have kind of an irrational fear of birds, right?
Uh-huh. Oh, really?
I didn't want them close to me. I didn't trust them. But when I was out walking 2 summers ago, there came a point, because I was pretty consistent every day around the same time. And I was walking past the old high school and up by the new subdivision. And so I was averaging about 8 kilometers a day. And I noticed
walking. This is just walking, right?
Just walking, yeah. And I noticed one day these 2 ravens following me. And I've last few years, I've really become interested in corvids. They fascinate me. They're very intelligent birds. And
oh, they are.
And just, yeah, and just the way they do things, it's kind of intriguing to me. So I noticed these 2 ravens following me. They would come up beside me and perch up on the tree on the side of the road and squawk at me. And then they would fly ahead and wait for me. Oh, and then when I get up to them, they start squawking again.
It's a sign.
And this one, yeah, right? This went on for days and days and days. And I was just like, you know, there's something about that. And I was trying to figure out a name for that felt right. And Soaring Raven just felt right because that's what I felt like I was doing. I felt like I had taken my life and just started to soar like I had never allowed myself to do before. And
yeah, you are definitely soaring high up there, darling.
Oh, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Well, yeah, but you're, you know, sort of like you're setting a good example for healthy living and, you know, empowering yourself and being the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. Absolutely. And am I right in my understanding that a raven is bigger than the crow, isn't it? Because they're somehow related. So a raven is actually bigger, and a raven is.
When I researched ravens, actually, because I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to be putting up something weird or offend somebody in some way. But I was pleasantly surprised to find out that the raven represents rebirth and renewal and recycling.
Yes, yes.
And it was just so perfect for what I wanted. I wanted just to show that you can get better. You can feel better. And it doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are or where you are in life, right? It's just taking the faith and doing those things that you need to do to get there. And none of us can do it alone. So
yes. Oh, definitely. That is just a fascinating story. I'm so intrigued. I'm going to look into your page. So your page on Facebook is Soaring Raven Healthy Living?
Yes.
Okay. And we can talk about that some more. Now, let's talk about you in the wonderful Alberni Valley. Okay. So what do you do in the wonderful Alberni Valley? Do you promote this health thing and talk to people?
Yeah, when
describe to me a typical day a typical day in the life of the Soaring Raven.
Well, you're going to be sadly disappointed because I relish the fact that I'm in a place in life where I don't have to rush around with kids and stuff in the morning. I appreciate everyone that has to do that, and don't worry, your time will come where you don't have to.
Yes,
but yeah.
I don't have to worry about anything.
I get up and I meditate in the morning,
Okay, so
and
meditate.
then
How early do you get up? I'm curious because I'm a night person. I'm not a morning person.
I get up at 6 now, which
Okay, that's a bit
seems
too
to
early for me.
my body seems to be happy getting up then, so
Mhm.
I'm decided to just kind of go with it.
Okay, so
And
up at 6, what's bedtime for you?
usually around 10.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
If I sleep too much later, then I
Well,
kind of
usually at 10
suffer.
o'clock. I mean, pre-COVID, 10 was just, I'm just about to go out and have a night out in the town. But now that's impossible. So usually at 10 in the evening, I have a glass of wine still in my hand. Anyway,
Yeah.
continue. So 6 in the morning, it starts off with meditation. Do you do yoga or some kind of exercise?
I do a workout. They're usually half-hour workouts. Right now I'm doing a really cool program that is kind of amped it up a bit. So we're using cordless skipping ropes and weightlifting. So it's a lot of fun. It's all the stuff that I really enjoy. So,
Okay. Can
and
we
I
see that on
mean,
your page? Like, are there videos of your workout on your page?
I post little clips of my workout on my stories every day.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a lot of fun. And that I timing for me for my workout lately hasn't been very consistent. Ideally, I'd like to get it done first thing in the morning. That hasn't been
Mhm.
happening. I've been sitting down and working for 2 or 3 hours, and I'm kind of like, well, if that's when I'm feeling like I wanted to get my work done,
Mhm.
then I may as well go with that, right? And I can do my workout later. And as long as I don't leave it too late, because
Okay.
usually around 3, 4 o'clock, I'm done. I don't want to do anything physical anymore. So I have a hard time getting myself going. But thankfully, I have a pre-workout that I take that kind of helps give me that little push to get started and get going.
So basically, this health thing that you're in is like what makes up most of your day. You're promoting this business, that's your work, that's your. Okay, that's so
Yeah,
cool.
I have two communities on Facebook. One is a free community for women, where I share my experience and teach them about healthier living,
Hmm.
how to reduce chronic pain and have more energy. And then I have my virtual gym, which is for my actual clients. And so we just kind of go a little bit deeper into everything, and I'm there
Okay.
for them. Yeah. So
And most of your clients are from here or from all over the world, and they connect with you through the internet.
It's all done virtually, and for the most part, I mean, right now, Canada, the US, or the UK and France are where
Ah,
people come from. Yeah.
okay, cool. So that's what you're doing now in terms of your career and your work and your advocacy or vocation, right? Now, living here in Port Alberni for how long now? Since let's start from your 23. So, okay,
24 years.
24 years. Okay.
Yeah.
All righty. So, what would you like to see as an improvement here in our wonderful Alberni Valley?
Um,
What are your ideas along that line?
I'm unsure on that. There's so much potential here because we have so much accessibility to wonderful trails and
Mhm.
waterfalls and various other places to go and see and do. And I really think that's where we've been going, and I think that's where we definitely need to keep going. Um, but I think mostly um, the only real thing that I can think of is for the most part, the people here are wonderful and beautiful and kind and generous. But there's always that one group. And I think that's where the improvement really needs to be, is just in general attitude, general, um, just be kind, right?
Mhm.
Like, if you don't feel good, I get it. We all go through that, but you can still be kind when you're out and about,
Oh, definitely.
and
Oh,
it
and
really,
speaking of the group, I'm sure you are like me. You are not oblivious to the negative things that are being said about Port Alberni. I have encountered people who like looked up Port Alberni on Google and all the bad things come up. There was even a point in time where I have this little Google machine in my house, would not tell me who the mayor of Port Alberni was, but it could tell me who the mayor of Qualicum was and who the mayor of Tofino was, but it did not have our mayor's name on its information database or whatever. Unless you say Port Alberni, BC, Canada, that's the only time. Then
I have
hearing it suddenly. Now you go to Google and ask who's the mayor of Port Alberni, and she will tell you that it is the pretty Miss Cherry Minions. Okay, so anyways.
I get frustrated with Google because it does that. It's like all the negative crap comes up. I'm like, I don't want to see that. Tell me something good.
You Google Port Alberni, it comes up as worst place to live in Canada. The 2 serial killers who came from Canada, from Port Alberni. Like, okay, about Port Alberni, that's important. So my question to you now is, what would you say to that issue of people who are bad-mouthing, and even people who live here have nothing good to say about Port Alberni? I have a friend who does nothing but complain and compare Port Alberni to Parksville or Qualicum, and I just feel like kicking him out of my car and say, just don't live there anymore, right? So,
well, and that's basically how I feel. Is number one, if you're going to live here and just all you do is complain about it, go live somewhere else.
Exactly.
Right? Like obviously, but those are the kind of people that's what they do, right? It doesn't matter where they are or what they're doing, they're going to be complaining. So I honestly, I try not to give them much to feed off of. If you're going to talk negative about where I live and you don't like it, you're entitled to your opinion, but I don't have to listen to it.
Exactly.
Right? And I'm certainly not going to spread it.
I do not have to listen to it while driving you around in my car.
Yeah, that's right. That too, especially, right? Get out and walk.
If only my car had an eject button, I would already be pushing it 5 times. So in line with the same line of thought, so let's say you are commissioned to brand and sell Port Alberni. What would you say about Port Alberni?
Stay away, it's mine.
You're not the only one saying that. Sort of like Wakanda forever. Stay away.
Yeah. Well, I love that we're known as a community with a heart.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think it's paradise. I mean, I live I live in the middle of the city, and there's a ravine across from my house, and there's wildlife everywhere, and there's access to lakes and beaches and trails and just so many things that adventures you can have.
Oh yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't you? Right? Exactly. Why wouldn't you want to live here?
Okay, so I guess that should bring us to our rapid fire question, which I forwarded to you prior to our interview. Let's go to question number 1. Living in Port Alberni, so you have to complete the sentence for me, darling.
You're assuming I remember those questions. Said you're assuming I remember those questions.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to ask you them now, so you just have to, from the top of your head. Okay. Living in Port Alberni makes me feel like
I'm home.
There you go. All right. The people in Port Alberni are
amazing.
Oh, I love that. Of course, I'm included there.
Absolutely.
In a word or a phrase, I would describe Port Alberni as
the best place on earth.
Oh, wow. Of course. It's in Canada.
Yeah, that's right.
Calls to heaven are local. No long distance call charges. Okay.
That's right.
All right. My wish for Port Alberni is
that it thrives.
Oh, there. That's so wonderful. Well, my wish is for bad people to stay away.
That too, yes.
All right. Next question is, when people ask me what it is to live in Port Alberni, I say, what it is like to live in Port Alberni. I'll say what?
Oh, it's great.
Okay, very good.
I don't know what else to say about that.
Okay, top 3 places I would take my visitors to Port Alberni to.
Well, I would take them. First, we'd stop at the Roland Arts Center on our way down to the harbor.
Of course.
Because uptown is amazing, the shops and everything, and it's a great walk. You know, like from where I am, it's a beautiful walk, right? I would also take them out to Stamp Falls.
Oh yes, I've been there.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite places around here. And probably the petroglyphs.
Oh yes, I've been there too.
I mean, that's pretty cool, right? Like
it is.
Right.
It's like you've journeyed into time, back in time, and went to an ancient place or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. For my final question, darling, complete this sentence. I love living in Port Alberni because
it has everything I need.
Oh, that's wonderful. Which is what? Peace of mind.
Yeah, easy access to the amenities I need. Like most things I can walk to, right? You know, whether it's a doctor's appointment or whether it's going to the health food store or whatever. I mean, I don't walk to the grocery store because I don't pack that much, but you know, like if I'm just going out to grab something, I've discovered that the walk to the library is a lovely walk. So, you know, it's just nothing's more than 10 minutes away, so you don't have to rush.
Exactly.
You know? I love living on island time.
Island time, island vibe, island everything. It's just a whole different atmosphere.
Yes.
Well, I thank you so much for doing this interview with me. I mean, it's my first for the second run of the Wave, the wonderful Alberni Valley experience. Do encourage your people. So if they want to get in touch with you and check you out on social media, you have Soaring Raven on Instagram. You have Soaring Raven Healthy Living on Facebook.
Yeah, they're both the same. Soaring Raven Healthy Living. Yeah.
Okay, and Instagram and on Facebook. And of course, on a personal note, it's Kat Lasell.
Yes, absolutely.
All righty. Thank you so much for taking this time to be in my interview. This is Don Jackson. So excited that the wave continues. We will catch you next time on the Wave.